Good afternoon, and welcome to the United States Consumer Product Safety Commission's annual hearing on the priorities for the next 2 fiscal years. Every year, Congress requires us to pause outward and ask those we serve, consumers, advocates, industry, and our safety partners, what they believe the Commission's priorities should be. It's a healthy exercise and one that's rooted in the very DNA of this agency because it ensures that our agenda is built not in a bubble, but in conversation with the American people. This year, the Commission received more written testimony than the previous 3 years and double what we received in 2022. This testimony has not just been read, it's been studied. In fact, it's already shaped the Commission's actions. Much of it came in as early as April. And rather than allowing it to sit idle, the Commission has already responded to that input with decisive action and turned it into real results that benefit American consumers and their families. For example, families told us in heartbreaking terms of injuries and deaths linked to water beads. Last week, we finalized the nation's first ever federal safety standard for this product category. It is historic and is directly responsive to the testimony that we received. From other submissions, we were reminded, again, that drowning remains the leading cause of death for children ages 1 to 4. We chose to act, securing the largest above-ground pool recall in CPSC history, more than 5 million units, addressing hazards that had been allowed to persist too long. We issued a mandatory standard for infant neck floats, a product category that's been linked to multiple fatalities and near-fatal drowning incidents. Commenters pressed us to confront the rising fire risks from batteries used in micromobility vehicles. The Commission's been aware of the risks from lithium-ion batteries for more than a decade, but until last week, had not lawfully advanced a mandatory standard. Under current leadership, we have advanced a rule on micromobility batteries to the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs for interagency review, an important step forward in addressing this hazard. In each of these areas, the pattern's clear. Testimony was received, hazards were identified, and this Commission acted. But to understand where we are today, we must acknowledge the people that brought us here. 2025 has been an extraordinarily productive year for the Commission so far, and I want to thank staff across the country who have dedicated themselves to identifying, preventing, and addressing product hazards. It's work that they have every right to be proud of, and they deserve the recognition and gratitude that so many commenters expressed in their testimony. I also want to note that last week, Commissioner Doug Ziak concluded his service at the Commission. Doug's more than a colleague, he's a friend, and a partner with whom I've had the honor of serving for many years. Doug leaves this agency stronger than he found it. His legacy is one of decisive action and measurable results. He led the charge on saving many young lives every summer through the recall of the pools that his work on Netflix, the Netflix standard will no doubt mean that children are safer in water, whether it be in swimming pools or bathtubs. Never forgetting the most vulnerable, Doug also made senior safety a priority and did more for that issue than any other commissioner in recent history. His leadership ensured the establishment of a mandatory safety standard for adult portable bed rails and the recall of dangerous products that posed an unacceptable risk to older Americans, the largest such adult portable bed rail recall in agency history. Doug helped steer this agency through a period of profound modernization. He played a key role in our lawsuit against Amazon, for which, for the first time, CPSC held that e-commerce platforms are treated as distributors under the Consumer Product Safety Act. He pressed for accountability from foreign-owned firms like Shein and Temu, insisting that global competitors face the same obligations as U.S. companies. And through it all, Doug championed efficiency, accountability, and results-driven ethic that has left the Commission better prepared for the challenges ahead. I'm deeply grateful for his service to the Commission, to the public, and to me personally. Even as leadership changes, continuity of operations remains paramount. Earlier this month, the Commission adopted delegations of authority to ensure that our work continues without disruption. Enforcement, regulatory, and administrative functions remain intact. Our relationship with the Department of Justice is strong, and we remain fully empowered to hold bad actors accountable. The American public should know CPSC will not pause in its mission to keep American families safe. We are also charting a course correction in how we regulate. In August, the Commission withdrew several costly, outdated, or ideologically driven rulemakings that don't meaningfully advance safety. These included a table saw proposal that would have risked creating a government-sanctioned monopoly, debris penetration for off-highway vehicle rules that were redundant to voluntary standards, and misguided attempts to regulate consumer choice in areas far afield of consumer safety. Those rules gone, we're focusing instead on resources on hazards where evidence shows that federal intervention can truly save lives. This approach is paired with a renewed commitment to accountability. For the first time in the agency's history, we are working through OIRA to ensure interagency review of our most significant rulemaking. That means our standards are not only strong, but also legally durable and coordinated across government. This strengthens rules. It doesn't delay them. Of course, none of this can be separated from the fiscal reality we face. The President's budget request for the fiscal year 2026 showed a strong commitment to CPSC and our safety mission. The proposal set funding for CPSC's core functions at $135 million. The House Appropriations bill would raise that to $137.5 million, plus another $4.5 million dedicated in support for the grants under the Virginia Graham Baker Pool and Spot Safety Act and the Nicholas and Zachary Burt Memorial Carbon Monoxide Poisoning Prevention Act. But regardless of the final figure, the Commission remains one of the smallest of the historically independent agencies, with an enormous mandate that touches virtually every household in America. We are lean by nature, and there's nothing new about the need to ask, for us to seek efficiency to differentiate what would be nice to have and what we need to do. As always, we must prioritize, we must act strategically, we must keep our core safety mission at the center of what we do. In the weeks and months ahead, we will continue to study the testimony that we received at this hearing. It covers a wide range of issues, from drowning prevention to online marketplace accountability to modernization of injury surveillance. Each submission is valuable, each submission deserves attention, and each will help shape the Commission's work in the coming years. Taken together, the Commission's recent actions reflect a clear direction: restoring focus, advancing life-saving protections, and ensuring the continuity of safety operations even in the face of leadership changes and fiscal constraints. I want to close by thanking every stakeholder who took the time to submit testimony. Like I said, your voices are not just heard, they're already reflected in our work. This hearing is not an exercise in symbolism. It's a step in the process to making our products safer, and our children's futures brighter, and our Commission stronger. With that, I look forward to discussing the path ahead for CPSC. We are joined today by CPSC's Executive Director, Brian Lorenz, who will provide a public briefing on the proposed agenda and priorities. Brian and his staff played a key role in synthesizing the themes and recommendations from stakeholders. His overview will help guide our discussion of where the Commission should focus its attention in the coming years. We are also joined by our General Counsel, Matt Campbell, who serves as the Commission's Chief Legal Officer. Under his leadership, the Office of General Counsel has played a pivotal role strengthening our litigation posture and helping to ensure that our rules are built to last. He is here today to help keep these proceedings consistent with the Consumer Product Safety Act and the Government and Sunshine Act and the highest standards of agency accountability. I appreciate them being here today and will now recognize our Executive Director for his presentation. Brian, please proceed.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for the opportunity to brief the Commission on our vision and our efforts to develop the agency's agenda and priorities for the upcoming fiscal year. That process is informed by the testimony of our stakeholders, staff, the current fiscal environment, and the administration's priorities for America. The outcome of this process will be a stronger CPSC and one that is more modern and better equipped to meet the challenges of tomorrow. CPSC has a storied history saving lives. For decades, we have stood on the front lines protecting the public from dangerous products and unreasonable risks. That mission has never wavered, and together we have achieved great things. Since the start of 2025, our agency has continued to deliver strong, measurable results. Recalls and unilateral actions are up 28% compared to the same period in 2024. Clear evidence of heightened vigilance and decisive action. Import sample collection has increased 24% year over year, strengthening our ability to stop unsafe products before they reach American families. Seizure requests have risen 28%, underscoring our unwavering commitment to enforcement. Takedown requests have grown 12%, reflecting our effectiveness in removing dangerous products from online marketplaces. Just last week, the Commission advanced consumer safety on multiple fronts, approving a new federal safety standard for water beads to protect young children, establishing regulations for neck floats to prevent infant drowning deaths, and advancing a proposed rule on lithium-ion batteries for micromobility products. We are acting faster, reaching further, and enforcing smarter. Behind these numbers are safer homes, children, and consumers. But we are standing at an inflection point. As you indicated, Mr. Chairman, we received testimony from over 30 external stakeholders and conducted our first ever internal survey to solicit ideas from our staff. Their recommendations underscore a critical point. The challenges we face today are complex, and the pace of change is faster than ever. The globalization of manufacturing has created a highly complex supply chain that makes it more difficult to identify hazardous products and hold manufacturers accountable. At the same time, advances in predictive analytics powered by AI are giving us the tools to meet this challenge, helping us detect risks earlier, uncover insights from the vast amounts of data, and act more decisively to protect consumers. Just this week, I had the opportunity to speak with a mother, a child who was injured by water beads in 2017. She expressed her appreciation that the Commission passed the water bead rule last week, recognizing the importance of protecting other families from similar harm. At the same time, she reminded me that her daughter's injury might have been prevented if CPSC had the benefit of more advanced predictive analytics at that time. Her words underscore both the progress we've made and the critical importance of modernizing the agency to equip it with the tools and technologies it needs to better identify hazards and act more quickly to protect consumers. With the support of the Office of Personnel Management, we were able to recruit senior staff with deep experience applying advanced analytics to complex predictive data challenges. With the right tools, the right data, and the right mindset, we can move from reacting to hazards after the fact to anticipating and preventing them before they are manifested. What lies ahead is nothing less than the opportunity to transform how we protect consumers. The past is table stakes. The time is now to shape the future where our reach, our speed, and our impact are greater than ever. With the Commission's approval of our mid-year requests, we are quickly pivoting towards a proactive data-forward model that emphasizes structural efficiencies, streamlining workflows, reducing duplication, and aligning resources with priority needs, AI and machine learning integration, using predictive analytics to identify patterns in injury data, social media, and product reviews to flag emerging hazards, and data modernization, leveraging new and improved cloud-based data sets, including real-time import surveillance, consumer sentiment, and third-party risk indicators to drive decision-making. This approach will enable us to act earlier, smarter, and with greater precision, protecting consumers from risks they may not even know exist. Our approach is not without challenges. To succeed, we must reshape systems and analytic models that are limited by lag time between hazard emergence, consumer communication, and mitigation response, siloed data systems that inhibit cross-functional insights, manual processes that slow risk identification, enforcement, and compliance actions, and limited foresight into emerging risks, especially in rapidly evolving product categories. This will be a journey, but there are areas where we have worked very quickly and are already seeing results. With the Commission's approval of our mid-year request, we have deployed a closed-loop generative AI system that keeps our staff in control while continuously improving through their feedback. This makes every member of our workforce an AI-assisted professional, freeing them from routine drafting and research so that they can focus on higher value judgment and oversight. The result is faster, smarter, and more capable teams better equipped to advance our mission. This work matters because it affects a broad set of stakeholders. Consumers rely on us to protect them from hidden hazards in everyday products. Taxpayers expect measurable safety outcomes and the efficient use of public resources. Industry stakeholders benefit from clear standards and more predictable oversight. And our staff depend on modern tools and streamlined processes to carry out the agency's mission effectively. Of course, there are risks that we must manage carefully. Transitioning from legacy systems and workflows to a data-driven, AI-enabled model can encounter cultural and operational resistance, requiring strong change management. Implementing these technologies and training staff demands upfront investment and sustained resources. Integrating disparate internal and external data sources into a unified system presents both technical and governance challenges. As we move towards proactive enforcement, our governance frameworks must adapt to keep pace with emerging technologies and evolving product categories. As we expand data inputs, such as social media and consumer feedback, we must refine our ability to identify credible signals from among the background noise to avoid both false positives or misthreats. In the coming weeks, this vision and the challenges we have identified will shape every aspect of our agenda and priorities. To ensure that resources are aligned with our mission, we have adopted a zero-based budgeting approach, requiring each expense to be justified rather than carried forward automatically. This discipline has allowed us to redirect funding back to core safety operations wherever possible. Already, it has freed up resources to address the critical need for additional port personnel at key ports of entry to combat dangerous e-commerce shipments. I'm pleased to announce that CPSC hired 4 new port personnel this past month. With this expansion, we will now have inspectors stationed at the 3 largest express courier hubs handling direct shipments from China, giving us a full complement of coverage at these critical points of entry. These same budgetary reforms will also allow us to accelerate our movement to a unified cloud environment, broaden our data sources, and invest in leading-edge technology that strengthens our ability to anticipate and prevent hazards before they reach the public. In conclusion, while the path ahead is not devoid of challenges, our commitment to leveraging advanced technologies and innovative methodologies places us on a promising trajectory. By embracing these transformations, we are not only enhancing our capacity to safeguard consumers, but also reinforcing the trust that the public and our stakeholders place in our agency. Together, we are building a safer, more responsive, and future-ready organization dedicated to protecting the well-being for all. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Brian, not only for your briefing here today, but also for your leadership. That vision, it's a bold one, and it provides a clear direction that I know will be reflected in the agenda and the priorities that we're developing. I want to thank the Office of the Secretary, which has worked diligently to organize today's hearing, and our Office of Communications, which has ensured that these proceedings remain transparent and accessible to the public. I also want to reiterate that this hearing is not merely a formality. The testimony we receive will continue to shape our priorities for the next 2 fiscal years. It will influence how we allocate resources that the American people have entrusted to us, where we pursue rulemakings and which hazards we address first. And in keeping with our renewed commitment to accountability and transparency, we intend to ensure that every action that we take is grounded in sound science, legal authority, and clear public safety needs. In closing, I want to thank once again all of the stakeholders for their time and effort that they devoted to this process. These comments represent not only the passion of families, advocates, and industry partners, but also the collective wisdom of a community that cares deeply about safety. The themes are clear. Americans expect that the Commission act swiftly on emerging hazards, to hold global e-commerce platforms accountable, and to modernize our injury surveillance, to protect the most vulnerable among us, children, older adults, families who should never have to question whether a product in their home is safe. That's the work before us, and it's the work that we're committed to do. Thank you all for being here. This hearing is adjourned.